Sup Trojans, back with another New York Football Giants video, doing a little bit of a draft recap, maybe touch on some news topics, whatever else pops in my head. But, it's just, so my last video actually was a PUBG video. It's very tough to get away from uploading gaming stuff. A couple might have to slip in there every now and then. If I do something random, I'm like, oh, YouTube needs to see this. It might still happen, but main thing I wanted to do today was do a draft recap. So first up, obviously, Kayvon Thibodeau. I had him in my pre-draft video. I had Akeem and Sauce as my first two guys that I wanted, and then Thibodeau and Neal were sort of secondary, but they were all like top four. Like I would have been happy with any, almost, well, like either one of the tackles and one of the defensive players, or one of the tackles, or, namely Aquanu, in a trade back. That would have been great. But Thibodeau and Neal, I'm really excited to have them join the Giants. And Thibodeau, I think, is going to be great. I'm planning on getting his autograph. He's really awesome. They have Michael Strahan's mentoring him. He's in a heated negotiation with Graham Gano for the number 5. Ward, who currently has 55 on the team, you'd think like, oh, he's not like a big star player on the team. Maybe he'd be willing to give up his number. I don't think that's gonna happen. Thibodeau wants 5. 5th pick in the draft. I think he said he had 5 tattooed on him. So he's definitely going to be gunning for the number 5. And I think he said he was negotiating with Gano. This is like a day after the draft. He's already negotiating with Gano. I like it. Like it a lot. He has a great personality. He's going to fit in, I think, pretty well with the Giants locker room. Media might eat him up a bit, but you put out sacks on the field, you start, making quarterbacks fumble, start batting passes down, you start making those tackles for loss, you start reading plays before they even happen. The New York media is just going to have to let all of anything he does slide, because he'll be so good. All right, now on Evan. I like him. There's a story, Saquon, had him in. Saquon had him in. Evan Neal was in for a visit with the Giants, and Saquon saw him and was like, man, we need guys like that on the offensive line. It's something like that. He wanted Evan Neal on the offensive line. I don't think he said guys like that, implying that his current offensive linemen weren't large. I think he said he would like to see Evan Neal added to the team. And, well, sure enough, the Giants went out, and they were able to draft Evan Neal, 7th overall. Honestly, both of our first-round picks are steals. There were some projections, if you're going like just purely BPA or even like, just going like a few months back, Thibodeau and Neal were 1 and 2 on the draft boards, and we got them at 5 and 7. Really great picks. Evan Neal, big guy. I think I've sort of rolled back on my Aquanu stuff. I think it worked out perfectly, because I liked Aquanu's aggressiveness, and I like that he was from NC State, but I think Aquanu will fit in really well in Carolina, and I think Evan Neal's going to fit in really well with the Giants. So I think it's the right move, and the main reason I say that is because Evan Neal is going to be a right tackle. Evan Neal can play right tackle. We kind of have a left tackle in Andrew Thomas, one of the best picks Gettleman made. So we have Andrew Thomas locking down that left side. We should have Evan Neal locking down that right side. Daniel Jones should have a huge, 10-second pocket with those two on each side. Should be good. I'm liking Evan Neal. They have similar, the analysis as I've seen of Andrew Thomas and Evan Neal. Very similar, good pass blocker. Needs to work on the run blocking a tad. But hopefully Evan Neal doesn't have that bit of a delay that Andrew Thomas had in getting really good. If you remember, there's a preseason game. It was before week 1 of the NFL season. Giants were playing the Patriots before the Broncos, 2021 NFL season last year. Before the Broncos game, Andrew Thomas, Patriots preseason game. Andrew Thomas was not good in that game. He just wasn't. And there was some serious doubt going into the season, like, oh, man, Gettleman may have drafted a bust at left tackle. This could be bad. And then what? He comes out, and he has more touchdowns than our star wide receivers. So Andrew Thomas is solid. Hopefully Evan Neal is solid from the get-go. And, yeah. So then the second round, we went with a wide receiver. Very surprising move. I sort of had a delayed knee-jerk negative reaction to the pick, but seeing more about him, seeing his shiftiness, he's able to get open on routes. He's able to, a lot of the catches I saw him make, he's able to, just catch the ball. I know I say that like a weird thing, but, the ball comes at him, and the ball, you see some guys, and the ball is, really small to them. The ball seems really big to him, and so the ball has to, really come at him. I don't know. I don't know what I'm really describing. He's just so small, and then, the ball is, kind of big, and it just comes at him, and, it's all in his arms, and he's, clutching it when he catches it. I don't know. I like it. Unfortunately, he's probably Sterling Shepard's replacement. I really like Sterling Shepard, but, if Sterling Shepard can keep negotiating these cheap contracts, he wants to stay in New York that bad. Hey, we got room for a fourth wide receiver, all day, every day. So I'm liking Robinson. It was very divided on this pick, though. I was at first, I was like, man, I don't know, wide receiver this high, we have other needs. And, the other needs argument, I'm still on board with. There were great corners. Brisker, who went to the Bears, was still there, even when after the trade backs, which those trade backs. Joe Shane said we had 11 picks in the draft. In his initial press conference, or one of his initial ones, when we only had 9 at the time, he had to make that 11 prophecy come true. So you figure second round, oh yeah, trade back with the Jets. Oh, that's only 10. Let's trade back with the Falcons. Boom, 11. All right, no more trades. We have 11. Gotta cap it there. Pick 11 guys. Boom. Yeah. So Robinson overall liking it. You could have gone different places with this pick, but I like the guy. Everything I've seen about him, I like it. I like it. I think he could be good. Yeah, he really wants to go out there. He really wants to catch some passes for the New York Giants, I can tell. So in the third round, I really like this pick. You're getting into where I'm just seeing positions at this point. I'm not a professional. But, we got a guard from a college. Hopefully he's better in the NFL. Better choices. He makes better choices in the NFL than going to North Carolina. No, I like the guy though. Great pick. I'm just seeing a position at this point. I'm liking him. I like his interview. He seems like a good, from what I can tell, he's like a solid guard. A shot at being a day one starter even, I think. He has a shot. He's a third round pick. We were talking about Matt Perry, really coming into form this year. That didn't happen. So I don't see why a third round pick can't be the left guard if Glowinski's the right guard. Then we have a corner, LSU. Flott with the third round pick. He said Robinson was the hardest receiver to cover in college, and Robinson didn't echo that sentiment back. But when pressed on it, he said that he was pretty. He made my job tougher. He was like, nah, he's not the best though. No, I think it's really funny that what the Giants did here is you pick Thibodeau and Neal. They're likely going to be, Thibodeau's going to have to try to get around Neal in training camp, and Flott's likely going to cover Robinson in training camp. So I think that'll be really interesting. Really fun dynamic the Giants have created. And then probably my favorite late round pick, again, just based off of position and what the guy does. We got a blocking tight end in the fourth round. I like it. We needed one of those. Sort of the Kyle Rudolph replacement, but you get that young guy doing it. You get a young guy. He could be great. You have no idea. But yeah, I mean, you want a blocking tight end. It's good to have one or two of those. I mean, and he could be a day one starter too. Not as tight end one, but like easily as tight end two. I'm not. I actually forget who our tight ends are. So he might be tight end one. And then we got a safety. Definitely needed a safety. 4th round. So that's good. That's looking good. We got a linebacker in the 5th round. Good. Definitely needed a linebacker. Defensive tackle, 5th round. Good. Depth there's pretty good. We got another offensive lineman from Carolina. Another guard, I think. We got the other guard from North Carolina, and I really hope UNC does not become Gettleman's Bulldogs. All right? Shane does not need to draft a ton of guys from North Carolina. There's a bunch of guys coming out in next year's draft. They don't all need to be Giants. Should they become Giants, I'm going to root for them, just like I rooted for Daniel Jones coming out of Duke. I'm an NC State guy. But I'll root for them. But I'm not going to be very excited when they're drafted. I mean, I might be. I don't know. I'm not looking that far ahead at the 2023 draft class. I'm not. I know the Giants aren't going to be going to... Well, I don't want to say I know that. I really doubt that the Giants are going to a Super Bowl this year, but I'm not looking that far ahead. Then we got a linebacker, another linebacker, cap the draft off. I like it. I really like this guy. I randomly saw a couple highlights of his, and pretty solid. Pretty solid, that the 6th round linebacker, Beavers. I like it. Really like that draft overall. I think we patched up a ton of holes on this roster, and all of those guys have the potential to contribute to the team. I don't necessarily expect all of the... I'm talking about the later guys. I expect Thibodeau, Neal, and Robinson, and and Bellinger probably. Yeah, I probably expect all of those guys to be starters. I just expect everyone else to either be good depth or contribute in some way, shape, or form. And then like one of those 5th round guys wouldn't... I would only get on Shane so hard. Your draft picks. All right, Shane, listen up. Your draft picks. I expect all of them to be Hall of Famers. I don't care if they're picked in the 7th round. You make them Hall of Famers. No. I mean, look, if a couple of them get cut, a couple of them get cut. These things happen. I would prefer it not to be a couple. But if one of those 5th round guys got cut, it's like, yeah... I don't know, you're just not competing well against these pro guys in camp. Sorry. That happens. You'll have that. But yeah, overall, I like the draft. A couple other things that I wanted to do, though. James Bradberry has been a hot topic. He kind of needs to have his contract reworked so we can sign guys like Thibodeau and Neal. I heard Joe Shane, the general manager, I heard him talking about this, and I think the Giants are actually about to extend him. This is made on May 4th, Star Wars Day. Happy Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. I think that the Giants are going to extend him a year and then make his contract get paid $8 million this year, so you get the same savings as if you cut him, and then just push some stuff back a year, so then he'd get paid, I don't know, basically have him take somewhat of a pay cut. Be like, look, we're not cutting you, so, maybe you take a little bit of a pay cut next year, and, overall, so then he'll get paid, like, 24 next year, but, extend him a year, you'd have to keep him, he might get extended 2 years to make this work, and, I like Bradberry. He's a solid corner. He's not elite. He's not locking down everyone, but He's out there. He's clearly a starting corner. He's pretty good. And, as a compliment to Jackson, Dory Jackson, I like it. Yeah, we get maybe another guy out there in the secondary, which is why I kind of wanted Gardner. Even if Bradberry was going to stay, I figured Gardner could have been good, but he's off with the Jets. That's all good, and, it gives us the opportunity to keep Bradberry, which we might do, and I'd be open to it. I'm open to it. It's just, it's kind of weird, because I feel like I've heard for the longest time, like, oh, Bradberry's definitely getting traded. We need it for the cap. And it's like, we could save the same amount of cap or slightly less. I think we need $10 million or so to get the first year of these draft picks in. And cutting Bradberry would be 12. So then, if you re-signed him and saved 10.5, I mean, don't expect the Giants to be making any major trades in the middle of the season. But yeah, I mean, if we are able to get the Bradberry situation under control and we don't necessarily have to trade him, that's a good thing. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think Bradberry's going to get extended. I was hearing Shane talk about it, and that was just the impression I got. Shane does a really great job, and this is what I really respect about his interviews, especially compared to Gettleman, Shermer, Judge, like all of the last guys I've seen. This even somewhat applies to the little bit I saw of Reese, and certainly applies to McAdoo. He does a great job of telling you exactly how it is without going into random specific details. I felt like all those other guys I mentioned, like, overcompensated covering stuff up, and stuff still got out. Like, stuff that you didn't want said or mentioned or talked about, like, stuff would still leak. It's like Gettleman, really trying to be close to the hip, could not hide how much he was in love with Saquon Barkley at second overall. Shane telling you exactly what he's thinking. And it's just like, oh man, I don't know what this guy's gonna do. I don't know. Does anyone else get that? That's the feeling I get from listening to Joe Shane. I really like that. I feel like I get a really good sense of what's going on, especially if he's talking about something in the past, even what happened. But he doesn't even need to say names, and I have no idea. Like, he talks about, like, oh yeah, we definitely had several calls. I don't know which teams did it, but like, I know that you had calls and like discussions were made and that stuff is happening, and I appreciate that. So that's James Bradberry. And then the other thing is just a quick recap on where all the NC State guys went. Obviously, notably, Aquanu went 6th overall to the Panthers. I think this is a great fit for the Panthers. I think the Panthers are going to enjoy Aquanu's services. And hopefully, hopefully maybe Aquanu can find his way to the Giants later, I highly doubt that, but Aquanu should be solid. Hopefully he gets a huge payday down the line from someone. And, I think the Panthers are going to like that pick. I think it's a good fit. I think Aquanu's going to have a good start to his career. Or he'll look great. Then NC State also had Trenton Gill, the punter, was the other notable guy I saw drafted. Bit of a drop-off there. You go from the offensive lineman. It's like, yeah, 6th overall. And then it's like, and then 4th round of the Bears as a punter. And it's like, okay. So NC State's has some very interesting draft prospects out here. But, I mean, hey, Bears are going to get to see what Gill is made of this season, all right? I don't know if you guys follow the Bears all that much, but we had the 7th overall pick in the draft for a reason, so Gill's going to get a workout on his leg, don't worry. And then, the other notable guy I want to mention, Donovan Knight, the running back, didn't quite get drafted. I almost said this year, like, he'll try again next year. No, he's undrafted free agent for the Jets, and, hey, I'm all for both New York teams being good. I think the best thing that could happen in the near future would be a Jets-Giants Super Bowl. I think that would be electric. I think that would be amazing. I think that would be a lot of fun. I'm not saying just because they got Donovan Knight and undrafted free agency that's going to happen. It's just a thought that popped in my head. I think it's great. I would love to see a Jets-Giants Super Bowl. That'd be awesome. And then, obviously you'd have to have some spectacle, and then the Giants win it, of course. All right. Let me know what you guys think. That went a little long, but it's all good. Hope you like that little picture I have of Zizo Jalari. Him and Thibodeau coming at you at the same time. Oh, that's going to generate some sacks. And Leonard Williams eating up double coverage in the middle. Oh. And if Leonard Williams doesn't eat up double coverage or triple coverage in the middle, one of those two's got to get home. There's no excuse for that. So, real excited about the Giants. Real excited about that thought that just popped in my head of a Jets-Giants Super Bowl. Because they're kind of rebuilding at the same speed. So you think both the Jets and the Giants here in the next couple of years, they'll both be good at the same time, I think. So, I'm hoping that both teams can, get good at the same time and both get to a Super Bowl and then have the Giants win it. And, I'll be happy. Jets fans would be happy they made it to the Super Bowl. And then, upset that the Giants win. But we'd all be happy for 2 weeks. It'd be a very fun rivalry. Imagine if it's also held in MetLife. That'd be absolutely wild. We got to get that set up. Oh, gosh. That would be amazing. It'd be like the preseason games all over again, but meaningful this time. All right. I'll see you guys. Let me know what you think. Comment, all that good YouTube stuff. All right. See you guys in the next one.